cymbalom is an instrument closely associated with Hungary, even though it has close cousins all over Eurasia. On a rainy morning in the capital Budapest, I set off to meet up with a musician who could tell me more about the instrument. Balint.
Hello, James.
Thanks for having me here. We're here in Budapest in Hungary, and this will be a very familiar looking instrument, I think, to a lot of people. Called the cymbalom, but I know it exists in a lot of other musical cultures. Why don't we start with just how the layout of the instrument and the strings?
Mm-hmm. So it's a string instrument, as you just said, but you play it with mallets.
Mm-hmm.
I think quite special in this way. I don't know other instrument out of this instrument family that is played by this way, that with mallets and also with strings. In this sense, it's pretty much the same like the piano. So the piano makes the sound in the same way that when the mallets hit the strings, but you move the mallets with the keyboard and not with your own hand.
And that's something that's we kind of sometimes forget. And when you look inside a piano, you can actually see it's very mechanical, and you forget, especially the way pianos are made these days. The feeling is quite different, but here the sound can be quite similar. The timbre of
yes. Yes, and it is pretty same to the piano in that sense as well. That one tune is made out of 1, 2, 3, 4 strings. We call them string chords, and it's tuned to the same pitch, just to reinforce the sound, so make the sound stronger and in the bass.
So each kind of note is they're all in unison. All the strings, there's a set of strings together in unison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, but there is another thing that is very different from piano, is that on one string there are in this part and then even this part. So in this part it's two tunes, two pitches on the same string. That's why it's very hard to tune. And up here it's even 3 pitches on the same string.
Oh,
so
I
there's
see.
the same string.
I see. So you have a bridge here that's dividing the same string. Ah, interesting. Yeah.
And here it's quints, or what do you call it? Fifths. And here it's not fifths anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
But almost. And that's why it's very hard to tune sometimes, because you have to tune the string to make all the 3 pitches clear, and it's pretty much impossible sometimes. Oh, it's not impossible, but it's hard.
And so, how long will you take to tune if you're going to do a performance?
It's like 1 hour. Yeah,
an hour.
To tune.
Yeah. Okay.
1 hour. Because
Wow.
it has 133 strings.
133 strings. That's Well, it's a lot to deal with. And how often will you replace the strings?
It depends. This instrument should have a string replacement now, but it's not easy, because there are not many people who can do this.
Right.
Not many instrument makers, even in Hungary nowadays. And
right.
and I went to one of the guys, and he said, okay, come back next year. So,
Wow. So
but usually you do it every 10 years, so it's not like other string instruments in this sense, because it's pretty much like piano. So like on the piano, you don't, I don't know how often you change the strings on the piano, but not very often. So
yes, yeah.
so it's the same here. And in the bottom, here I call this the bottom.
Yeah.
The bass strings are covered, rolled around, because it's the same. Here you can see it's the same steel strings.
Yes.
Like these ones, but it's rolled around the copper string as well. It's again, it's the same like the piano, and all the strings have to make especially for the exact instrument, because the strings has, as you see, it's a different different size, and also because of the what's the name for this? I don't know the name. These are nails.
Right.
We call it nails.
Yeah. Okay.
In Hungarian.
So
the tuning, these are the tuning nails. These are the hooking nails or something like that. So you can, if you have a look here, you can put the strings into these little nails, and then on the other side attached to these, and then with this tuning key, we call it, you can turn the. It's like with the piano.
Yeah. And so you're saying every string set needs to be essentially custom made.
Yes, the bass, because the normal steel strings are just the same, but the bass, which is with copper, that is custom size, because that's why I started to talk about the nails. The nails are from different distances from the.
I guess it's a bridge, isn't it? Really, like
from the bridge, from the bridge,
yeah.
and that's why the copper has to start in after 2 centimeters, or after 4 centimeters, or after 6 centimeters. So that makes different, and also the thickness of the copper is different. Obviously, the bass sounds have a much thicker copper. It has even a double copper rolling around it.
Right. Okay. Now, one of the most distinctive features, I think, are these. How do you call them? Hammers. I know in
Mallets.
Mallets. Yeah. And so, talk to me about the heads of the mallets here.
No, I don't have a clean one, but with this, you can see that it's just the wood continues as it is, and you put around it's cotton, normal cotton that you use in the bathroom.
So you'll make them yourself, like you don't.
Yeah, I make it myself. Yeah, I make it myself. But I also use leather on this. I use leather,
right.
because it has different sounds. This has very sharp. And for example, this has much softer sound. On this one. So it's a much softer sound. And here I have some more. I put these away. Because these are the broken ones. These are when one of the pair is broken. So don't throw it away, but keep it. But these don't have pairs, so it's all broken pieces. So here I use. I don't know the name for this.
Some kind of tape, is it?
Tape. It's a tape that you use for electricity. The sealing tape, we call it.
Yeah.
This has a quite brutal sound, I think.
Yeah.
Quite heavy, brutal sound, and for this I also. This is almost naked. We call when there is nothing on the mallet, we call it naked. But I put some tape on it, just because if I use without it, it's falling apart. There was a piece of wood here. It disappeared. Anyway, it's falling apart. The wood. So So you destroy the mallet, and I don't want to destroy the mallet. That's why I put a little bit of tape on the top of it. But it has a light, sharp sound.
So you get the whole.
Compared to this is a heavy, sharp, brutal sound. And this has softer but still sharp. So you can vary the sound with the head of the mallet.
Right.
What kind of sound you want to, and also it's in different in the traditional music, in different styles. It's different in different regions. They use different kind of mallets, and that's why we use different kind of mallets in different styles to give back that sound.
I noticed as well. You've got these dampers here. So you operate that with a foot pedal. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes,
so
that's right.
In also similar to piano, I guess, and you're actually muting the strings. Yeah.
Yes, it's a sustain. The cymbalom, as you mentioned, is here is a piece of wood. That's what I said. This is from the mallet. It came off.
Flying off like drumstick shavings. You know, just.
And
there you go.
But the drumsticks is very cheap and very easy to get, and these are handmade, not easy to get, and not that cheap as a drumstick.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I said that I try to protect it.
Yes. Yeah.
So back to the instrument. As you said, it's an instrument family. So there are many instruments with the same shape, and also strings and mallets and so the same instrument family.
Do we know much about?
They say it came from the Middle East, but perhaps they say this because in the Middle East there is a desert, so there the ancient things remain. So we have the ancient findings that things were there, you know what I mean.
Get preserved. They get preserved.
They preserve the ancient things, and on other climate the ancient things just disappear. So that's why it seems that everything comes from the Middle East. Anyway, this was just a history thing. So.
And do we know much about the origins? I mean, there are some that are preserved in the Middle East, but
yes, and they call Kanun and Santur
yes,
that region, and in India they call it Santur.
And I know in China they have the Yangqin.
Yangqin, yes, you're right. But why the Hungarian is special, that in the late 19th century, a guy whose name was Sunda Vencel József, he was the owner of the Hungarian Royal Instrument Factory.
Okay, yeah, great.
And he was a quite good businessman. This was the era of the rise of nationalism and national awakening and stuff like this. So the nations became interested by themselves, and the Hungarians started to being obsessed with being Hungarian and what that means, and what are Hungarian instruments, what is Hungarian music, what is blah blah blah. So part of that was that he said that the cymbalom is the Hungarian piano, and he modernized the cymbalom, and that's why it's very different from the other types of now I say cymbaloms,
yes,
as I said, all in Eurasia, because he was the one who added the sustain pedal to it.
Right. So if you see one with a sustain pedal, it's Hungarian origin.
Yeah. Yes.
And this is 1880s.
1880s. Yeah. It's a quite modern thing, and also he changed the tuning because it was diatonic. Sorry for the viewers.
Yes,
I use words,
well,
but
maybe you can. Could you play a diatonic sound that will be familiar?
yeah,
I'm sure.
Here you can even see if you see the which strings I play that it's the logic, as I said, the fifths. And so the scale is very simple in this part.
Yes.
this is, I can say, the heritage from the the diatonic tuning. But if I continue with the scale, or I go down, so it becomes quite chaotic, because he changed the from diatonic. Diatonic means they use only one scale.
Yes, yeah. Maybe some people will know all the white notes on the piano
All
without
the white
using...
notes, on the piano, or all the black notes. So just one scale, and can't change the. So you couldn't change the mode. You can't change the mode on a diatonic instrument. So he made it chromatic. He added as you said, the piano. He added the black keys to the cymbalom. So he made it chromatic, and he made it so you could play any kind of European classical music on the cymbalom, because on a diatonic instrument you can't do this, because the basic thing in the 19th century of the European music was the modulation and changing the modes all the time.
Maybe we could hear a bit of the chromaticism, the extra notes that were added. Yeah,
I can play a chromatic scale.
There you go.
So it's quite chaotic.
Yes.
For a traditional melody, like one scale is enough. You don't change the scales. But in the European classical music, and especially in the 19th century, the main idea, the most important thing was that changing the modes, and how you change the modes, and how the music flows between the different modes. So for that you need to get out from one scale and use another scale, and then use another scale. So changing the mode means like, okay, this is one mode. I play simple pentatonic, but now I want to play, and I want to start the melody from here. And even if I want to add chromatic, is the same word like color. It means this, and so if you want to add some color to the notes, you again start to use the chromatic notes. So like, you don't play just like, but you start like. So, and for this you need the coloring notes, the chromatic notes.
Right.
So he changed the cymbalom, the tuning, added notes, added pitches, so the cymbalom became chromatic, and now you can play in every mode, and you can modulate as you want, and you can play anything from the European classical musical tradition, whatever you want. And also he added the bass notes, all that the copper notes, and you can easily recognize that it was added afterwards, because the logic completely different, and it's much simpler, because the chromatic scale here with the basic. It's very
just
simple.
alternating, going down. Yeah.
Because as the chromatic scale, if I go up, so that's simple. Everyone can follow, but now everyone will get lost.
So actually, it's quite clever engineering, isn't it? Because you're essentially getting a lot more notes in quite a short space. Because I know you've got 3 here, and then you've got different.
Yes, it's very economical in that sense.
So I think it's time to hear it in action, putting all the pieces together. What can you play for us?
Let's play a verbunk. If I talked about that nationalistic romantic era, this is the dance from that time. And as the cymbalom became a symbol of the Hungarian culture, verbunk is also a symbol of Hungarian culture and Hungarian dances. And this is the music for that. Verbunk actually was played for soldiers. It was a recruitment music.
So they would play it in order to encourage people to...
Yes, because encourage people, but sometimes I would to make fool them. To fool them. I mean that. So they organize a little party, bring some musicians, get some drinks, and have some party with the boys.
Yeah.
The soldiers came, and when they become drunk and good mood and whatever, then okay, here's the paper signed. Okay, sign the paper. And tomorrow you will be taken for 8 years to the army.
All right. So.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, or click on the links to explore more Stringdom interviews.